Hello, it's Mrs. Durst, and we are going to move ahead and draw the landscape and some of the details in our Starry Night project. So I'm going to get going right away in visualizing this. Okay, so here is our original, and so we're working against these ideas in our own. And again, I want to reiterate that we never have to worry about making a mistake. These are our own original pieces of art. These are the ideas that we're working with. And so perfection is not a thing here. This is more about just enjoying the process and working with these different kinds of materials. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to find our dark blue that we picked out. And we are going to work at this horizon line, this most top piece. Well, actually, when I look at this, I think the first thing we'll do is this hill, and then we'll work up and then up again. So what we're going to do is start over here to the edge of our paper, and we want to go kind of in alignment with our eyes to here. So right where our town's top is, let's call it, we want to come across to here, okay? And we're going to do a lump, just like that, a lump. And we're going to put another lump back here, okay? So we have a lump with a lump behind it. And while we're doing all this, we want these crayon lines to be deep, okay? They have to be strong and special, okay? Because what we're going to do is eventually wash this in a blue watercolor. So we want some of our lines to really stand out, okay? So here we're going to connect right about here, like 2 fingers up from our hump. And we are going to do a bump and a bump, something like that. Again, these are just our own lines with the idea of the original. And now we're going to draw this plateau, I want to call it. So we're going to come up and make like a wavy line and a wavy line and then go off. Something to that effect, okay? And this is our plateau. And so I'm really gonna give this some meaty line. Let's call these meaty lines. We don't want them to be weak lines. We want these to be meaty and big and chunky. And it takes a lot of energy to color in that deep, but it'll pay off in the end. Okay, so I think we need to do this strange mountain, okay? And we can see it's up from the plateau, and it kind of starts out here a bit. So let's take it up, and a lump, and a swoopy doopy, whatever that is. Again, these are just ideas. Okay, so this is so dark. I'm going to find my black, and I'm going to give this one kind of some black lines and details. And kind of not quite color it in. I'm just giving it some kind of detail, I guess you'd call it. See, where's my twistable of this magnitude? There. I'm going to try a twistable too. Oh yeah, that's very nice and dark. My other black wasn't very dark, so I got a little nervous about that. All right, so I'm kind of giving this some of that, and then I'm going to give it some blue. So it's had black, it's got this weird black brown, I don't know what that was from, mystery crayon. And I'm just giving this a lot of color up here, because in our painting, This sky is dark, right? Very dark. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to do is taking our black crayon, we're going to add in the forest here, this forest right behind the village. And we're going to outline it first in our black twistable or crayon. And I'm going to do, it looks like it's just a bunch of poofs or half circles almost. And it goes way up the plateau. So it's a lot of lumps, but gives us the idea that these are tops of a forest out in the distance. So I'm just going to fill this area in with these kind of lumps. Okay, again, we don't have to be super perfect with them. So once you get an idea, and they kind of go all through this back of this town, don't they? Huh. This was a nice forested area out here. It kind of just keeps going all the way out here. Okay. I'd like you to find your green colors. I'm going to use my olive and this kind of bright green. And I'm just going to create some lines in my trees, kind of the reflection of the moon on top of those trees. So I'm just going to give these a lot of detail with my crayon. And again, please press down and give it some oomph. Okay? The oomph is going to matter in our next lesson. So we need the oomph to work. And make sure you go all the way back in here and fill this in with that pretty green kind of idea for trees. Nice. You will also want to put some green booms over here. It looks like there's another idea of a forest over in this area of the corner here. So I'm just putting a couple like that. And then I think I'll try this other green over here. And give it a little color over here. And just outlining what it looks like. He just does kind of swirls and squiggles and dashes. Okay, so far, so good. Now we want to work on this plateau, and I'm going to use this really light blue color, and I'm going to put a bunch of like lines. You can see in his painting, he used a lot of dashes and line working down this plateau. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just work in some line detail to kind of make it look like it's a sheer rock in my light blue twistable. Crayon works great too, just like that. And then I'm going to give both of these humps just some regular blue. And I'm just going to give them a little color, a little detail with my crayon, just like so. All right, and this hump back here, these humps need it too. You're just giving this a nice wash of color because this will stand out when we go with our watercolor over it. I'm just giving this a nice deep treatment of color, just like that. Okay. All right. All right. Ta-da! Oh, let me get this little guy out of here. All right. The next thing we want to do is we want to replicate this kind of wave in the sky, which is just really pretty. And if you could see it, it's a really light yellow, okay? And it's like highlighting the tops of the mountains a little. So I'm just going to use my lemon yellow. I'm going to start way over here, and I'm just doing like dash lines in the sky, like over my mountain slightly. I'm not going to interrupt my swirl, but I'm just going to move it up in the sky, something like this. And I'm giving it a little oomph. I want this to show up. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Just like that. Nice. All right. So now we can work in our little, almost looks like a little Lego town. And there's a picture on this page that you can get a really good close-up of this town. So that's what I'd like you to do for the rest of this lesson, is really work on the details of your town. And you can use that picture on this page to really help you. And I'm going to take the black and I'm going to use the orange and make some more window glow in some of these. I'm going to use the black and the weird whatever I found here to just create, like, maybe there's a road, you know, just really give a lot more detail in here, and like even color in a few of the roof lines. And again, look at that picture. You'll see some black doors in the picture. Take your time and really fill in this section of your picture with some detail in crayon, okay? And work it all the way up to about this area, okay? So go all the way to the point where your big swirl is, okay? And just detail that bottom area as best as you can, okay? And right now, what you're gonna get is a crayoned version, and you don't wanna color any of the sky in yet. We're just working on the landscape and the details on the ground, okay? Talk to you soon.